Welcome to the Real Talk Weekly podcast, where we discuss news, culture, life, and dive into deep conversations about our faith. Here's your host, Alan Reed.
Giant rubber ducky is on the loose. A case of bad behavior. Mandatory military service for popular K-pop band.
You changed mine. I changed my article. I'm sorry.
David,
All right, we'll get to it. You can surprise us. And the self-destruction of Kanye West. Is that a fair title?
Yeah.
we'll see.
Okay,
We'll see.
We'll see. So, welcome to the...
Welcome to the Real Talk podcast.
there you go. Thank you. Helping me out.
Wow.
I'm Alan Reed, host of the show with David, James, and Ellie.
What's up?
Hi,
Good to see you guys.
I'm chewing on M&Ms.
Yeah, no more eating right now.
Ew. I'm wearing my blue lipstick today, everybody.
Nice.
She is.
Happy Halloween.
Show it off.
You should go walk up to the camera. It is really blue.
It's not going to focus on your face, but
Oh, it can see it though.
yeah. Oh, it's there.
Nice.
And for those on audio, I'm sorry.
So I've got a fun icebreaker.
Okay.
Ooh.
Somebody
little different.
didn't
It's actually-
silence their stuff.
Yeah, that was me.
Yep. Turn it off.
Bing. Turn off your stuff
Spooky.
here.
Things are getting spooky.
So here we go. You guys have played the game Never Have I Ever?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Like where you got like in a circle and you
always
switch
win.
seats and everything. So we're going to do something similar to that. And the first one to 5 points
Ooh.
loses.
Wait,
Oh.
like,
Oh, okay. I get it. It's one of
You
those
don't want
articles where
points.
you like,
oh, you put your finger up
Yeah,
if you...
if you've done that.
Okay.
Yes, right.
oh boy.
Okay. So,
Be gentle.
So we'll just go around. We'll start with Allie, and you
Wait
just
a second.
Wait, we have to
oh,
make
we
them up?
each make one up?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, they're
easy.
different questions for
Yeah,
each of us?
otherwise
Yeah.
Alan would win this whole thing. He
Right.
would just planned it.
So yeah, we'll just rotate around. Never have I ever. Just state something you've never done, and if one of us has done it, then that's a strike against us.
Never have I ever drank soda in the past 12 years.
Whoa.
Oh, wait. No, not me. Okay, there we
I
go.
was like,
I would hope not. If
No,
you're
sorry,
doing never
everybody
have I
else
ever.
did it. I was
oh,
like,
so
oh.
I have to come up with one now?
Yeah.
Oh man, this put me on
I know
the
I
spot.
wasn't prepared for this.
I wasn't either.
Tough tacos.
Tough tacos.
That's some
Did
restaurant.
someone else go for? I'm.
Never
already
have
went
I
first.
ever been part of a golf tournament.
Oh, just one.
Oh,
We're going to get Alan.
Yeah, get
Oh,
Alan.
this is strategy. We're trying to get Alan out first. Okay.
Never have I ever been to Spain.
Been to Spain. That
I
was
really
a
thought
dumb
you were
one.
going to say space, and I was like, Alan.
I was like
I
everyone.
know. So you said Spain, right?
Yeah.
got him.
You've been to Spain? Yes. So you have two?
So are we teaming up together to get them?
Wait. Nope. I got into play
Hold
that
on,
time, so I
Wait,
get to go.
David hasn't gone
No,
yet.
but we
gone
have
yet.
more points. It's not fair.
No, that's not how you play.
David?
I haven't gone yet.
Wait, is this a team game?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You guys are making it
Well,
one.
we're trying to team up against them.
I
Man,
just
you're
wanna
putting
win
me on the spot
personally.
here.
You've done so much.
Never have I ever. Oh gosh, been to an NFL game.
Gee, crickets.
Let's go.
Okay.
No, you don't get to go again.
Yes, you already win.
What
I'm
kind
the
of
one who
rules do
started
you play by?
I thought you got the point.
No
All right,
rules.
you got
So
to
let's
go.
go say, wait, it'll go this way.
All right,
Because
go,
of that.
Allie.
All right.
Guys, I'm really sorry for this, but never have I ever weighed over 200 pounds.
Oh!
That was mean.
That was mean.
That was really mean. I hope you
want
step out
to
of
have
the
it.
way
To
later.
win.
All right, James, you're next.
Never have I ever worn blue lipstick.
Oh,
It's great.
Got
It's
her.
complimenting me.
Got her. It's your turn.
I
now.
kind of wish somebody else would have put their finger up for that.
Get him.
Never have I ever painted my... No.
I want to know where
He
you were going
said,
with that.
I can't say that. I have. If you're
Never
questioning
have
it-
I ever remembered painting my fingernails.
Ooh.
It feels like something you might have done.
Well, so can I ask some
yeah,
context
fingers
here?
up.
He can't
Yeah,
remember.
Fingers
you're
up.
out. No talking.
No, he can't.
No, I didn't
remember.
paint them myself. I had a parent paint them for a camp event. Does that count?
Yeah, guilty. You put on... Yeah.
Alan's like, gone.
Why do you all hate me?
We do.
I mean, you're the one that did all these things. So
Yeah.
Your turn.
It's my
Okay.
turn. All right.
I'm out.
Never have I ever been to Bucky's gas station.
Okay, I'm out.
Dang.
I'm
Okay.
still at 2.
Okay.
You're up.
Well, now it's just going to be cutthroat. Never have ever been fly.
And it wasn't before?
No,
Yeah, for real.
You literally said never have I ever weighed more than 200 pounds.
Yeah,
You
that was
I knew I would
intentionally
get all
targeted.
of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about savage.
You
Cutthroat.
were-
Never have I ever attended Washita Baptist.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
Yeah, cutthroat.
I've always been to Washita.
Boom. I
David
win.
wins. You deserve that.
David's
I'm a
the
better
winner.
person.
I'm the loser that doesn't do anything. Yay!
Now, wasn't that fun?
That-
a little bit
Sure.
different.
That
a
was
little bit
stressful for me.
great.
I'm bad at coming up with stuff on the spot.
I don't know. It feels like you did a pretty good job since you won.
Well, part of that is I'm just boring and I don't do stuff.
different. Hey, that made you a winner today.
Hey,
Yeah.
So, if you
losers
haven't,
can be winners.
if this is your first time listening to Real Talk, we have a pretty basic layout to what we do.
Yeah,
we do
basic.
3 dishes, and typically they're kind of silly or odd or pointless, but interesting enough for us to want to share them.
They're blue.
And then we end with a deep dish, something that's a little bit more either controversial, interesting.
It's a little
Something
more
like-
deep.
Yeah, a little deeper, a little
It's a
deeper.
little bit of a deeper dish.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's begin.
It's time for the dish.
And David, since you changed your
Yeah,
article,
I did change my article. So
We're shocked.
yeah, so
your other one was interesting about
yeah, I thought it was a little too morbid, so I changed it.
a lady's like
the-
sick bees on
yeah, a lady-
cops.
That was so funny, though.
It wasn't funny for them.
Yep, that's all right.
But I say that I was trying to go less morbid.
Yep.
My new article, we've talked about NASA, right, and how they're trying to crash satellites into comets and asteroids.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. We might actually need to use that in the coming many years down the road. So apparently, NASA has, or astronomers rather, I don't want to blame NASA here.
Yeah.
Apparently found an asteroid hiding in the sun's glare that could potentially go into Earth's orbit.
Oh,
They
snap.
always
Armageddon.
say that.
And so they call it the planet
it's like-
killer
What's
asteroid.
new?
It's like a couple of thousand years away.
But this planet or
Yeah, it says,
I'm going to get it.
so, and it says one of the asteroids called 2022, I guess that since they found it this year, AP7 is 1.5 kilometers. And for us American folks out here, it's 0.9 miles wide. Ooh. So that's a
That
big
would-
boy.
That's a big one.
That's a thick
is
boy.
it?
Yeah, that would take me about 10 minutes to jog across.
That's a solid mile
Wait,
time.
how would
About a
that
10
destroy a planet?
A 10-minute mile.
Well,
Because
something
that's a big
mile-
enough impact to create enough dust and debris in the atmosphere that would keep the atmosphere from being able to support life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
What if
it
I'm in
would
my
kill us.
tornado?
It'd be a slow death, Allie.
Looking forward to it.
It's a slow fade.
Unless
Oh
of
my
course,
gosh.
Casting
you're
Crown said one time.
impacted by the actual.
Then it's very quick.
Sorry, David. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're in that 0.9 miles.
And James is correct by saying it's not necessarily the impact zone would kill everyone. It's the fact that dust and debris would fill the atmosphere for years and cooling the planet and wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
We'd have a nuclear winter.
Yeah, it would not be good.
So when is it coming?
So that's the thing. They don't know. It's too far away to actually tell what the orbit is, but it's one of those, it could happen.
Is this like too far away, like objects are closer than they look
do.
in the mirror?
Yeah, probably. Well, it's definitely a scare tactic because they have no answer of where it's going or when it will be here.
This sounds like making plans with your friends as adults. Like
Yeah.
it's so far in the future, you
Yeah.
might be able to get there,
You're like,
potentially
Man,
not.
I would love to. Let's get lunch sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll
And
ever
you never
happen.
I don't
do
know. This is exciting to me. I feel like any time now we're going to send Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis up on a spaceship
No,
to blow it up.
Tom Cruise.
We'll be living on Mars. By
No,
this time.
not Tom Cruise.
Tom can do everything.
We're not sending Alan up there.
It's true.
Okay, so it says
I was-
this
looked
could
just
be
like
a
him.
near Earth asteroid, and with an
Ania?
orbit that places them within 48.3 million kilometers.
Okay.
So that's 30 million miles.
Okay.
So
How far away is the moon?
I don't know that.
Well, how far away is the next closest planet?
Google's
I have a lot of questions.
I'm
about
Googling.
this.
Okay, so how many miles did you say?
30 million.
Okay, so the moon, think about this. The moon affects our gravity.
Yep.
Right? Like the moon is what brings in the tides and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the Lord.
Arguably,
but
yeah.
The
sure.
moon is 200 and, well, the Lord made the moon
He did.
238 million miles away.
Oh, so that's
this
a
thing
lot
is
closer.
40 million miles away. It's like
No, 30.
30
It'd
million
be
miles
30.
away.
It's about 120 times further than the moon.
Closer.
No, closer.
239
Yeah.
million miles away is the moon.
Oh, that is million.
Yeah.
I thought that was. No,
think
that's
it was millimeters?
238,000. That's not.
Oh, you're right. That is 1,000.
Oh, okay. Wow. I feel so much better now.
120 times.
I'm
further
so
away,
bad at math
which
that I
is
don't
still
feel
pretty
anything.
darn close.
That is close.
Yeah.
We still might have to send the DART mission
Yeah.
to destroy it.
No. Don't want to close my eyes. I want there to be like a movie made about it in the future.
Well, here's the deal. If it's actually going to
With
happen,
Liv Tyler.
Who's gonna make it?
they can make that live. They wouldn't even have to do like special
Oh,
It's
effects.
a
it could be
Facebook
include real
live
footage.
stream.
Yeah.
I love it when movies include real footage.
There you
Last
go.
movie we'll ever see.
Anyways, but the good thing is, the good news here is we have a plan. You know,
We do have a plan.
and
We've already
hopefully
practiced it once.
Yeah,
Die
hopefully
before.
it succeeds.
The DART system to me seems like throwing spitballs at a boulder.
Yeah, but hey,
I don't
you
understand.
don't know if that helps or
What's-
not.
that
don't.
Well, then they threw that satellite into the
Yeah.
asteroid. It actually affected it, moved it.
I thought it would take like months for them to figure it out.
Yeah, it took them like a
Is
week.
that this one?
Oh, really?
No, it's a
No.
different
Oh,
one.
okay.
Wow, I missed that.
Yeah, we're the reason why this thing
Yeah,
is
we
hiding.
literally.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we sent a satellite into that asteroid.
Yeah,
and
the
it-
DART mission.
Yeah, so it says while NASA recently proved it can be successful at altering the motion of an asteroid in space with the DART mission. They have to find the actual path first before
So
they
this is
spend
probably
billions of
1,000
dollars.
years away, or at least a couple hundred years. It's going to be like our great
gonna be
grandchildren.
next Thursday.
Yeah, that's their problem to figure
I'll
out.
make sure that I print this article out for them
Yeah.
and leave it so that they know potentially. Saw
Good
this
idea.
coming.
Leave it in a bottle and throw it in the ocean, and then it'll make its way back right about the time they need it.
Yes, because the tides will all.
And God is sovereign,
Away
and He will
and-
control the tides
Yes.
to make sure that.
I like how we're getting a little bit of like ASMR eating noises.
Ew.
while-
Yes, we talked about this.
My
We
wife
had
is
a
gonna-
rule
she'll
that we're
hate
not
this.
to eat on air, and
I
here we
know.
go.
You
He's
guys brought
munching on
candy.
M&Ms.
No gum.
So
Who
it
brought
is
the candy?
Halloween.
James.
It's Halloween.
And Allie.
Happy Halloween, trick or treat.
Allie
It was
brought it.
good. It was good.
The temptation was there.
So are we still talking about like K-pop bands? Are we going to do that?
Yeah,
one?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm talking about that.
Okay, I want to hear about that.
Okay, so we all know now Korean pop. Alan, what is it?
It's a very popular
He
Korean
listens to it.
I know.
pop music.
I just like to hear him describe it.
Yeah,
It's
kind of their
Korean-
top 40 in Korea.
It's Korean pop. Yeah. So
Well
BTS.
You're welcome.
Really in depth there. Anyway, so BTS is the K-pop band who crossed over into America, right? They are South Korean, and so something that they have to do in South Korea, since the government found a loophole in the year of 2013, the year of our Lord, they have to join the South Korean military. So the band is breaking up. They might have already be in the beginning stages of breaking up. I'm not really for sure. It's hard for me to understand. But anyways, so they are leaving Korean Hollywood and going into the military for like maybe close to 2 years.
Hold up.
Yep.
Korean Hollywood exists? Like there's a Hollywood
I
in
just
Korea?
assume.
Isn't
mean,
that
not
like
like a-
Bollywood? Isn't Bollywood like India's Hollywood?
That's India. But
Yeah.
I'm asking like
No, they don't
There
have
is
like a
a
sign on a
Hollywood.
hill that says
Okay.
Hollywood in
Okay.
Korea.
Wait, do they have that in India?
I don't know.
You guys, Korean Hollywood
Sorry.
is called Hollywood.
Is it?
Hollywood?
It's a word combining the word Hallyu, Korean wave, with wood from Hollywood.
Interesting.
So there it is. Hollywood.
So since I lived there, I'll give you a little bit more background because
yeah.
it sounds So Allie, South Korea is right up against North
Korea.
Korea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are
So,
you
yeah.
serious?
So there's this thing
They're that
where
close?
Yeah,
It's new.
Geography
yeah,
with Alan.
right next to one another.
Connected by a bridge.
And so, yeah, they've been at war. They're technically still at war right now. So the reason why they have mandatory military service is because, literally North Korea could invade. In the 2 years that I was there, this was back in the mid-'90s, they had military people from the North coming into South Korea, all kinds of stuff. Like it was tense at times. So, yeah, so they have to.
Yeah. I don't think they should be exempt because they're celebrities, but it's hard for me to imagine a life in which all young men have to enlist.
Yeah.
So is it just young men in Korea?
Yeah.
Because in Israel, they make men and women do it.
I think it's just men.
Yep. By
Yeah,
the,
women
by the
start
time you're
lower
20.
terms.
If they're healthy.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know how long these guys are going to last.
Could the K-pop boys put on like 30 pounds and then not be considered
When I
healthy
see a
anymore?
picture, then they look really sweet and they don't look like the fighting type.
You know what though? They dance.
look like girls.
They dance, and so
Hey,
they're
that's
going to
not
be
very
quick on
nice.
their feet. You know what I mean? They're going to dance right around those battlefields.
They're going to be out there with their
They'll
gun
be
going,
just fine.
Yeah, they may be tougher
shoot you
than you
in
think.
the head, Bob.
It's K-pop. Okay. I would feel really bad though if one of them lost their life. You know, it's just because they live their life so publicly. I mean, it's sad anytime, but I don't know. I can't imagine like celebrities in America now. I mean, you know, Brad Pitt goes off to war. It's a tragedy.
It would be.
That's a tragedy.
Tom Cruise. Honestly,
Right,
no,
you'd
we
be
would
sending
win.
Alan
We'd
to
win any
war.
Tom Hanks would be a tragedy.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You're
I'd be
right.
real
That's so
sad
much
if
more
Tom
sad.
Hanks
Chris
had to go.
Pratt, that would be
And
a
Tim
tragedy.
Allen.
It'll be good for. It'll be good for these guys.
And Ryan Reynolds, that would be terrible.
It'll be good for them.
Yeah.
They'll probably.
Ryan
take it
Reynolds
easy.
would just be sarcastic with everybody.
I
Probably.
think you just shoot people for fun.
Well, James, you got an article.
I do. And this just brings such great joy to me. We really need to post this video. So this is a headline that came out from Belfast Harbor in Maine.
Oh.
And
Not Belfast.
Not
not
the cool
Ireland. I said Europe, but I was mistaken. A giant rubber ducky. I mean, like, giant.
What size
Rubber ducky.
giant?
It doesn't really say, does it say how tall it was?
Goliath or?
The thing looks pretty large.
I mean-
it looks like about as big as a house.
Yeah, easily.
It's a big duck.
It's yeah.
And
That's one big
It
duck.
broke loose in high winds. It was moored up to a dock, and it broke loose in high winds and just started floating down the river. And they went after it to try to stop it, but the ropes that hold it were broken, so they couldn't get a hold of it, and it was too windy, so they just let it go, and it went on for at least 20 miles.
Oh my.
The article said it was still going.
Yeah, the last
Like
time
they
they knew it was
still
still
haven't
going, they
updated
still
it.
haven't been able to capture it. But
That is hilarious. That thing is big.
it's big.
That is big.
Like,
Yeah.
why
That's,
do they even have it? I'm
So,
not against it.
It's
but-
art.
Oh.
They believe. They don't know where it came from.
Oh, that's what
so
I say
it
about a
appeared
lot of
last
art.
year with the word joy written across it.
Hmm.
And then
does it say
it
now?
reappeared
Death.
this last week with the words greater joy
Oh,
on it.
it's a Christian.
it's a Christian
So,
ducky.
It's a Christian duck.
but what's, I mean, like, yeah,
It's
It's in one of
flying
our
south for the
series
winter.
last year here at the church.
Yeah,
we're
greater
trading
joy.
in the fish for a
We should
duck.
have done that.
That's what
but
we
a giant rubber
time,
ducky.
guys.
A giant rubber ducky. I mean, talk about something cuter than a giant rubber ducky.
Well, if there was like little baby animals on it, that would be so cute.
So, like, one of the reasons why this is so funny to me is right now on my Amazon wish list. And if
Is
any
a
of you
giant rubber ducky.
No.
Okay.
If any of you want to know my Amazon wish list, I would gladly get it for you. You can mail things to me here at the church at 3364 West
Oh
Desert
my!
Road,
Stop.
Rogers,
Stop!
Arkansas,
We're not doing it.
72758. Like, so there's this video of a guy a long time ago that he was playing a prank on his roommate, and so
Oh,
he put the
yes.
rubber ducks.
Yeah, that one's really good.
That
And,
is out of Europe.
And then they were like, you just have to have one. You can have one rubber duck. So he got a giant rubber duck and put it in the bathtub. But on my Amazon wish list right now are all these little itty bitty ducks, because I think it would be so funny. And it's like a 500 pack or a 1,000 pack or something like that.
Oh my gosh!
Is I want to get these and I want to start randomly leaving them places, like in your chair, in your office, on your car,
I'm gonna know
at
it's
Walmart.
you now.
you know, and
Oh,
like
at Walmart would be incredible.
just to put them in places, right? And just have these rubber ducks just randomly show up everywhere, because I think it would be so funny. And
think it
like,
would.
so this giant rubber ducky floating down the river just brings me great joy.
You do know that one of the members at our church, their son would do that. He bought a bunch of rubber duckies, and at school he would leave them in random places.
Aw,
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's so
Do I know these
sweet.
people?
you lived right behind them for a long time.
I know these people now.
Leighton did that?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Oh, Leighton, cred to you, man. That's awesome.
That's so
I just think that would
funny.
be so funny.
yeah.
So one of these days I will have it, because here's the thing.
Did you guys grow up with a rubber ducky?
No,
I don't really know. They were
you
there.
I just know the song.
Any toys in the
Rubber
bathtub?
ducky.
You're the one.
You gotta realize
Yes, I
though, but
play
like,
with toys.
there's always some kind of a
Barbies.
prankster thing on my Amazon wish list, because I'm just fun like that, right? Never have I ever,
Pranky.
I'm pranky, not cranky, pranky. But a couple years ago, there was something on my Amazon wish list, and someone got it for me for Christmas, and it was these little pink flamingos that when they're in the wind, their little wings wave, right? And so I totally took them out and pranked a bunch of people's yards and put them in people's yards. And nobody, like most of them never knew it was me.
Well, now they do.
Now they
Yeah,
do.
some of them do. My favorite was some friends of ours that we know that he hid them because he thought his house was being tagged and didn't tell his wife.
Listen, the world is scary.
Yeah. But one of the families actually caught me because they had a security camera in their garage. And I got the message from my friend Kyle that said, hey, were you in my driveway last night around 11 o'clock? I was like, why do you ask? And he literally sends me a picture of like my face in his driveway. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was me.
Looks like me.
But he was a good sport. And
I got a
didn't tell
traffic
anybody.
ticket that was like that. It's like, I didn't run that red light.
And they're like, sorry,
was a
Mr.
picture.
Cruz, you did
I
run
did.
that red light.
I did.
You should have just said you were filming for a movie.
Mission Impossible.
47.
Awesome. Okay. We're going to jump into the deep dish now. Those are good. Good job, guys.
It's the deep dish.
Now, you guys are going to have to like carry me through this because I know Kanye West, but I don't know everything that he's done. He's just been in the news a lot
He's done a lot of stuff.
Sounds like he's just like, self-imploding, saying a lot of dumb stuff. But yeah, give me an overview. What's happening in Kanye's life and why is he not a billionaire anymore?
Well, first of all, you kind of have to go back a couple of years or
the
a
good
lot
album.
of years. There's a lot of good albums.
Yeah.
I don't condone listening to his music,
Right.
but
I downloaded them from my older brother.
I
so.
liked his music. But there was a moment where obviously he had been in a dark place, and I think it was in 2019 where he came out with and said that he was converting to Christianity.
I think so.
I think it's
Sounds
2019.
about
And released a gospel album,
That was the
remember
most
that.
schizophrenic album I've ever heard in my life.
and it was really good.
James obviously doesn't think so.
Yeah, I love that album. But since then he's kind of weirdly enough, Christians have kind of coined him as their like poster child for Christianity in the rap world for a little while. And so obviously as he's kind of imploded recently, it's kind of raised a lot of questions, especially in the Christian world, about the authenticity of his faith and a lot of things like that. But there's a lot of depth to Ye.
Is it ye or yay?
Ye.
Like
Because
Yeezys.
Yeah.
It's
Ye.
Kanye.
Yeah.
Yay.
I think it's Ye.
But once you take
Yay,
the time
though I
off,
walk
it's,
through the valley of the shadow of death.
No, definitely not that.
"Oh,
I think
come
it's
all
ye.
ye faithful. Ye.
Yay.
Yeet. Anyways,
Yes.
Neat.
Allie.
Well, okay, so I think we first also need to determine where you fall on the Kanye scale. Is he crazy or is he a genius? Because that's a huge question.
Personally,
Yeah.
I think he's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Can you be, 'cause sometimes crazy people can be,
Well, I think the
Beethoven.
pendulum swings a lot.
Genius.
Yeah.
pendulum?
I agree.
Pendulum.
The pendulum. Yeah. I think the more I've like researched about Kanye, the more I start to think he's actually pretty smart. And that is saying a lot because I don't think a lot of people in Hollywood are
Smart as
intelligent.
in he has intelligence, not
Yes.
necessarily he makes good decisions.
No.
Oh, I know a lot of smart people that make terrible decisions.
Yes.
Most
Yeah.
of the time, I'm one of them.
Right. Well, so that's the thing. And like as believers, I think we always put a weird pressure on Christians in Hollywood
Yeah.
that just isn't realistic.
especially a young believer. If he just became a Christian a couple of years ago,
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
he's
lot
been
of
struggling
pressure.
with faith for a while. If you go back to some of his earlier albums, there's a song, what's it called? Jesus Walks or Jesus? Gosh, I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up, but continue.
Yeah. So, since he became a believer, he's made questionable decisions, right? So I kind of think marrying into the Kardashian family is a questionable decision for anyone.
For anyone, not just ye.
But especially like you're not equally yoked. But if he's new in his faith, he's not going to understand that. So kind of why we're talking about Kanye today, though, is he's a hot topic in the news right now. And yes, we said he might be smart, but he doesn't make wise decisions always. So I think all of this kind of started when he kind of made a stance as being a conservative person in Hollywood. Not always conservative in lifestyle choices, but conservative politically. So when he started coming out more and more with that, at first you sometimes think that things are a ploy just for attention, but the more that I've listened to interviews with him, the more I think that he's out there, but I think that he legitimately believes that he is using his influence in the right way. Mm-hmm. A couple things that stood out to me recently from an interview that he did in response to this whole situation and self-imploding.
So what was the situation? For posterity here.
It all kind of started a couple weeks ago at a Paris Fashion Week show, whatever. And
fashion.
he wore fashion
Clothes.
He wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt. So a black man wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt is kind of an uproar just
It's
of its own.
controversial.
Yeah. And he intended for it to be controversial.
Yeah.
And so his intentions...
Or thought-provoking.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he wanted. And so this is kind of like the thing that stirred the pot to begin with. And then I think it was last week or the week before, he released a tweet, which terrible wording choice, but he said he was going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Yeah, you asked me about that the other day. Like, what's I would just thought I'm going to kind of go ballistic. I'm going to be, I'm going to, say a lot of ugly things about you or...
Right.
Yeah.
But I think like the military term of that is actually a lot more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like land, air, and sea were coming for you is kind of what I understood it
So
to be.
people took it as in he was going to attack them, like physically hurt somebody.
It was just anti-Semitic is what everyone started saying. Yeah. So listening to an interview, he got to explain himself and said that that's not his intentions in sharing that at all. And I didn't ever understand why he would mention Jewish people. He was upset with how the media was portraying him. So he actually pulled up a list of all these major media networks and has a chart created that shows which are owned by or which have Jewish CEOs and who make these decisions about what's shared on the media. Well, a large portion, according to what he said, is Jewish. And so his intentions were to say, stop painting me in this light. Therefore, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Yeah. Again, not anywhere close to the best choice of wording, but this is Kanye. I don't know.
Yee.
And say Kanye has never been
politically correct.
No, very smart on the things that he says.
And I guess the other thing is you don't have to. You should.
Sure.
But you don't have to, especially if you know that you're already going to be covered negatively in the media. What more could possibly hurt you? This one did hurt, though. He lost a lot of brand endorsements. He did explain some of the decisions about why he went with some of those brand endorsements. And so that was eye-opening for me, hearing that he chose not to go with Nike because he is conservative and he knew that they would kind of control him. So he went with, he did the Yeezys deal with Adidas because they're German. And so they weren't going to have so much say in his conservative political beliefs here. So I thought that was kind of interesting. He's really passionate about the number one death across Black people being Planned Parenthood. He says the most dangerous place for a Black person to be in America right now is in their mother's womb. And I just think that's such a powerful statement from somebody who's a new believer to understand that so immensely. So I think he's weird. He also thinks that he was misdiagnosed with bipolarism. And so that was kind of fascinating for me to hear. But the more I listen to him, I really do think at the end of the day, he's just a guy who's trying to figure it out, and he lives his life in the spotlight and wants to use his influence for going against the grain of Hollywood. So I do feel for him in a way.
And you can't help but admire someone like that from someone from a distance who doesn't get into a lot of the, popular culture, what's going on with, any type of Hollywood artist or anything like that. I always admire people who are willing to be honest and share what they think, because it seems like today everyone has to think the same way. You can't think any differently. And it's sad that, that you can be punished financially. Now, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of what he said that was anti-Semitic or anything like that. It sounds like he was just upset with people, but I don't know the details of it, so I can't go into that. But what I do like about Kanye or Ye is that
or Ye,
yeah,
we're not even for sure.
Yeah, just that he's willing to make some statements to make people think. I mean, yes, it's weird and sad to say, but it's controversial to where white Lives Matter on your shirt. Now, I get the context of it because of Black Lives Matter and that whole movement and everything else, but I think he was probably just making a statement, as in like, you know what? Yeah, of course they do, but so do white lives. And he wanted to say that. And so, yeah, just sad. We live in a free country, but now it just seems like everybody's punished for having a different thought.
Well, to play the other side here too, I don't think we as humans, but even more so Christians, should champion him as a voice for the Christian voice.
That's a good point.
Like let's get real here. Like a lot of things that he does and says, even after coming out as saying I'm a born again Christian, are not Christ-like things.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of things that go along the side of, yes, maybe he is smart and that's the way he can get controversy and power and like clout with people. But also there's a lot of things that, approaching things with wisdom and tact, especially as a Christian, that is number one. Like you can't just go out and say whatever you want and not have repercussions. But also even coming from, and this might not relate, but in my mind, it kind of does, like being a black person in America, seeing someone who is black wearing something that is offensive to you, it almost is ringing as like, as a Christian, someone wearing abortion is great shirt. And so there's some arguments to be made there on the other side as well of like, maybe we shouldn't put this person in such a great light.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Like we shouldn't appreciate what he's doing.
Yeah, just for wisdom, someone who's a new believer, just because they're from Hollywood and they're very famous, I think we always have hopes as Christians, like, oh, wow, here's somebody that could be like a present day Paul, someone who was popular or influential, who becomes a Christian. And all of a sudden, we put all of our hopes that they're going to really turn out to be a great example. And what have we done? We put a ton of pressure on someone. I think about the decisions that I've made as a Christian, and being highlighted like that isn't really fair for him either. And so, and look at how the world's judging him because he's a Christian. He's a fallible Christian. He's a human being, and
and he's doing it on such a public forum.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if we knew somebody that lived down the street that was doing some of the stuff he was doing, we'd be like, dude, you're a quack. Right? Like, you just need to chill out. And if we knew the person, we might have a different opinion, but it's like, just, he's in such a public forum and, he's wildly swinging from side to side. And it's like, what? He goes from being, ultra conservative to crazy ridiculous and saying horrible things that a conservative would never say. And it's like, what? Like how, and you're right. A lot of believers just jumped on the train with him and said, okay, cool. And then didn't really consider what that meant.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, just be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Because he did like a bunch of like Christian services right out in like a public church services.
He went and led worship in church services.
I remember that now.
After he, released his gospel album and declared he was a Christian.
That list is long of people who've gone to well-known churches that, they create worship songs and we sing them. Right. Beyonce's led worship on a Sunday. Justin Bieber.
Right. I was thinking of Justin
Selena
Bieber.
Gomez. You have all these celebrities who I'm like, I would literally never invite you even to speak, to teach the word. Right. And here you are leading worship.
Yeah. Because they can sing good because they're famous.
Yeah, and because we put a little extra on them because they said that they're a person of faith, and it's like, golly. Which, they do have to live it out in the limelight, but I think you're right. We just expect them to show up and show out and almost have more influence than just somebody who's not famous would, and like that's not going to be what happens,
Well, and I remember a few years ago something was put out about Chris Pratt. And how he, was a believer and all that kind of stuff. And he was making a lot of decisions about his career based on his faith. And, he stood up for a couple of things and said a couple of things. And I remember seeing somebody that I knew that had commented on an article about it. And their comment was, and it was a believer that I knew that commented on it, said, but didn't he divorce his wife? And it's like, okay, we're all sinners. And that probably happened before he was saved. You know, I'm not here to judge and question someone's salvation. I mean, we talked about that with Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm not judge and jury on that. You know, but I think you're right. We put them in a limelight and we say, oh, well, you're a sinner, so darn you, you can't be saved. It's like, okay, look in the mirror. You're a sinner too.
Yeah.
Well, and even on that note, I think potentially there's a lot more believers in Hollywood who just don't say anything about it because for that very reason, like I'm going to get bashed and all these other people who are also believers are going to expect me to live a certain way. So when I don't add up in one small area, the same way that they didn't add up in one small area, mine's going to be blown up on TV and media and everything. So
I think we also make the mistake of thinking that just because someone's conservative means they're a Christian.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to be a believer to be conservative.
No.
You know, not in the slightest. And so
I'd say there's a lot of great Christian people that would not call themselves conservative.
Right. So,
And there's believers that are not conservative politically.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of them. And so,
But I think this whole thing kind of boils down to this whole idea of cancel culture. What would you guys, what's your thoughts on that?
cancel it.
I don't necessarily have strong opinions on it.
on cancel culture,
Yeah.
oh man, maybe it's just because I'm old. I hate it. I hate
I do
cancel
too.
culture.
Well, to the sense of, I think cancel culture should not exist in the Christian realm, period, because that means there's an absence of grace.
Right.
And there's no good definition of living out the idea of grace.
And that's the thing. It just seems like cancel culture is very self-righteous. It lacks forgiveness. There's no opportunity to repent. Matter of fact, if someone does apologize, it's just heaped on them all the more.
Yeah.
I've heard of people just giving advice, don't apologize. Don't ever apologize because it'll just get worse. I'm just like, it's such a toxic culture and it's anti-Christian. And I think it's a big part of kind of the depravity of our culture just going downhill. And we're just ready to jump on anybody. And I think maybe, I don't know much about Kanye in his life, but my assumption is he became a Christian. He began thinking probably of a lot of things that with a different perspective, maybe became more politically conservative. And that was probably his downfall. Became a Christian, became more conservative, and then, you know, people were pointing at him and trying to gun him down. And, you know, he lacks maturity as a believer, and he maybe he just likes being controversial.
Well,
So
saying
not
he
a
spent
great
his
example.
life being controversial and being boisterous and being, you know, in the limelight and being
made him a lot of money.
And so,
Yep.
so just because he became a believer doesn't mean all that instantly drops.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, but I mean, you know, it's funny because cancel culture in its extremeness is more current, but cancel culture has existed for a while. And, you know, as you were talking about, it shouldn't exist in the Christian circles. I mean, unpopular hot take here. I mean, SBC was cancel culture all over Disney. You remember that? And they were like, "Oh, we shouldn't go to Disney, and we should just cancel Disney because they had I don't think it was LGBTQ everything else. I think it was just, you know, like a gay day or something like that. But they were promoting that at Disney parks, and so the SBC went on a full on boycott. And it's like, okay, that's cancel culture. That's 100% cancel culture, you know. And it's kind of like, yeah, you're right. I don't think it should exist. I mean,
yeah, but on that level, like I think, you know, for me and for my family, I want to make decisions that are healthy for us. I would want to protect our kids from things. I mean, we let them watch Disney and stuff like that, but and that's been controversial for a long time, long before that. But it's like, yeah, I'm not big into boycotting things. My dad does that a lot, if you know, and I'm just like, Dad, you can't make any decisions, you know. And I could point out, you know, different things that he might be doing. I'm like, you're gonna have to drop this, and this. It'd just be impossible.
well, you'd never
know?
be able to vote.
Yeah, you can't. You can't cancel the world out. And I think, I think going back, I just think we just have a culture where there's a lack of forgiveness, and we assume the worst of people. And it is in the Christian culture and outside.
And that culture is now helping us define what grace is. And that's such a terrible place to be, in letting culture define anything what Christianity believes, period. But even more so, grace and forgiveness. Like, then kids are growing up nowadays thinking that any one thing you do wrong means that you cannot exist in this world. And so, I think we need to extend grace to the people that are hurt by Kanye and Kanye. Like,
Yeah,
we need
absolutely.
to show grace to everyone.
It's like a friend who makes a mistake. I've had friends that have made dumb mistakes and destroy their marriages. Well, I'm not going to defriend them because they did something dumb. I'm gonna come alongside them and help them, but I'm also going to care for their family that they messed up.
Well, it takes work. Like
Yeah.
the fact that it's so easy to cancel somebody because it doesn't take any work from someone else.
Yeah.
And so it's important for us to, yes, be accountable to others and one, have accountability ourselves, but two, work on the relationships to help them become better Christ followers.
I think there's something like I'm fine with people, and I think you should speak up for what you believe in. So
Yep.
there was a time, and I won't mention the scenario because I don't want to hear about it from YouTube comments. Walmart had done something. My family felt very convicted by what they were doing. So we actually went and stood by the stoplight at Bentonville Walmart and like just kind of not picketed or anything like that. We did have signs. And we were just
Protested.
Protested. I
That's
mean,
the
yeah.
definition of
Yeah, I mean,
protesting.
but we didn't.
We made
not,
signs, we stood, and we yelled things.
was a
But
pep-
we didn't protest.
It was a political pep rally. So
Oh, don't
what
get
we
in that
didn't
one.
do though is stop shopping at Walmart.
Yeah.
It was just this is what we believe. We're still gonna you're still gonna have our business, but like just so you know, like this is kind of pushing the line a little bit here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a long time ago. I was a kid. I had no idea about politics at all or anything. So I think in that sense,
Yeah.
that's fine. Do it. Cancel
Absolutely.
culture. The problem for me with cancel culture is that typically it's one-sided or the repercussions are not the same for both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So like, yes, we will cancel this, but this thing that's inherently bad that we all agree is bad, we're going to leave that
Right.
be, you know? And I'm like,
Was it-
why don't we just all come together and cancel the things that are legitimately bad?
Yeah.
And the world would be a better place. So world peace.
But
That's
who
all
gets
I'm-
to decide those things?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
a
problem.
I
tough
think
Who gets
that-
to decide it?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
and I
goodness.
think there's so many people like, I mean, I think everyone, even non-believers, would agree that like, you know, using children on any kind of platform that leads to temptations and weird, bad things for people should not be a thing. You know, sex trafficking, child trafficking, none of that should be a thing. But you also have this weird dark side of the world who runs all of that.
Right.
And so I'm like, why can't we cancel that altogether as a culture and then see how much better we are on the other side of that? So
So
I'm
true.
all for cancel culture in the right way,
Yeah.
but it's not the same. So
I don't think there would be
I don't think
ever a
it's ever
good
gonna
way
be a
of
right way.
cancel culture.
if you want to join my team with cancel culture, we're taking applications.
We're gonna make sure we're
we
cancel
throw
culture,
pep
David.
rallies
Oh no.
and you wear blue lipstick.
Yeah. That's the stipulations for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, the boys can wear blue chapstick.
Just make sure it's not eyeliner.
Yes.
But on this whole topic of Kanye and cancel culture, I think it's extremely important for everyone to have a well-rounded opinion,
yeah.
because if you don't see the other person's side and don't take the time to really understand what people are going through,
Yeah.
then everything that you do is going to be every idea and opinion is going to be formed by your own.
Bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important for us to see, like you said, because for us to talk about Kanye would be easy for us to say, yeah, he's awful. But I
Right.
think on this podcast today, I think we've kind of had both sides of it. Like, let's see both sides of Kanye's issue here, because there's a lot of people hurting from what he said.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah, and you can care for him and
Yeah.
care for others at the same time. You don't have to really choose a side. You can truly care
Yeah.
for both, because both of them, everyone's created in the identity of,
Yeah.
in the image of God.
And
So
none of us are better than the other.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we're growing up in this culture today, is that we think we are better than everyone else.
yeah,
And that's not what Christ says, and that's not what the Bible is teaching. And, we are all image bearers of God.
Yep.
And so we should treat each other with grace and mercy and kindness.
yeah. One of the best. I love it when I hear people just share, and I think this really is good advice. If everybody on both sides of the aisle, whether it's politically or your religious views, is get to know other people that are different than you and just learn from them. Ask questions. The guy that does my backflow at the house, which is a little thing that's on the side of your house that helps.
Please explain.
Yeah, with water.
I'm thinking like yoga for your back.
Yeah,
Backflow.
he comes from a Mormon faith, which is similar but different than our faith, and so it's fun to talk to him. It's fun to ask questions and to learn about his faith, and so when you meet people that are different, don't just demonize them in your head. Get to know them. Find out what makes them think that way. It's actually, people are very interesting, and it does help you understand a different perspective. So,
What if they're those people that have implanted horns and
I would love to talk to
tattoos and they carry around pitchforks? Are you supposed to demonize those people? Because I
It's
think that's what
Halloween.
they are.
Those are just costumes.
That's what they want.
Well,
I've
today
been seeing
is
them all day
Halloween,
today,
so-
and I don't understand why people would do that.
oh yeah, you'll see a lot of those tonight, I guess.
Yeah.
Ugh, scary.
Season.
All right, guys.
Spooky.
I think we did pretty good. We covered it pretty well. Anything else we need to?
I don't ever like to say that because people.
No, I don't. I mean, like we
Take it
could
back.
barely scratch the surface on this whole conversation, but I mean, please comment and give us your opinions, and we love reading them, even though sometimes it hurts our feelings.
You know what? Don't cancel us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we're funny.
And show grace to somebody.
Yeah,
right?
show grace to us because yes, we're not
You can start on
experts on this topic, but we like just to talk. That's why we're here.
Also,
It's real talk.
It is real talk, and if you want to send us a selfie of you wearing blue lipstick, we'd love to look at it.
Especially
You might.
we-
That might
You
be
might.
weird.
That's kind
I
of
don't
weird.
know.
Yeah, that's you.
If our
I
feed
just
gets
always
filled
want to
with
see
blue
how
lipstick.
complimentary it is of other people's skin tones.
yeah, we'll try it on David, and we'll
No, thank you.
everyone out. So
Remember,
I cancel that.
David's afraid of making any decisions that people will pounce on him for. That's why he always loses it. Never have I ever.
That's true.
Guys, I'm sorry I said the thing about 200 pounds. It's been weighing on me.
You're not even sorry. You're like,
Wait a minute.
not sorry.
Did you mean to say that?
I didn't mean to say
Weighing on
I
you?
didn't mean it in that way. I really
Wow.
she
Oh my
I'm sad
gosh.
about it, but
Wow.
that was
hit
You know
three
great.
words with one stone. It
Go
was pretty
ahead
good.
and make those harsh comments about Allie all you want. Take her down.
And
Cancel.
this before we get hurt again.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for listening
Don't
today.
forget to
like
Subscribe
And share.
with someone that you care.
and rate.
Yes.
Please rate our show.
5 stars only.
Yep.
We'll take 4.
Yeah, 4 will be fine, but nothing
3.5
less than
is
that.
fine.
Yeah, no.
Whatever.
Yep. Enjoy your Halloween tonight. Be a blessing to somebody, and we'll see you next week.
peace.
Later.
Don't be spooky.